I would have said Beyonce.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hey everyone.
To the virtual desktop experience.
How's it going? I'm Tech Honors. I introduced myself first this time. I'm Tech Honors of Death's Dynamic Shroud. And
I'm James Webster.
James Webster.
James Webster.
James Webster.
I'm Kevin of Equip.
My name is Mark, and I'm also known as R23X, and I'm outside right now.
Mark's
Nice.
at the beach.
Mark's in the park. Mark, can you turn off your green screen so we can see behind it?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Give me a sec here. Here we go.
Nice.
Beautiful.
That's just a Skype background, dude. Don't lie.
There we go.
He's got one of those panoramic Skype backgrounds.
Wow, and the sun will
There's
be setting
Vancouver.
a little bit. Wow.
And that's west over there. That's the Burrard Inlet. In the far distance, you can see Bowen Island, and Vancouver Island is on the horizon there. Then that's Vancouver on the left side there, the other side of the Burrard Inlet.
The Couve.
So, Mark, you must be thrilled to be streaming right now for the next 2 hours. That must be awesome for you.
Yeah, I'm just.
Is your battery gonna make it?
You gonna hold the phone the whole time? Or?
I'm on my laptop, and I've got a battery pack, and
Nice.
I actually come here to work very frequently. I just chill down here with my laptop and do work. Yeah.
Well, it's an M1, so I doubt the battery is going anywhere. I think you're gonna be just fine. So.
I have a battery pack.
Nice. Well, you know what doesn't have
You
a
won't
battery
need it.
pack? Is the Nokia
Sure.
N-Gage, which is our layout tonight. And
That's a really cute logo, Kevin.
Thanks. I googled N-Gage font, and then I typed Neo Gaia in the font.
It's perfect.
It worked pretty well. Yeah, the N-Gage, not everyone might be familiar with it, but it's Nokia's foray into gaming. And they thought it would be really freaking sweet to combine video games with a phone. So, yeah. They
Kind of the Apple Arcade of its time.
yeah, they definitely overshot a little bit, and N-Gage or Nokia themselves came out and said, "Yeah, we messed up. It was a huge failure." They basically sold like 1/3 of the projected units that they thought they would sell, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bummer.
Well, it's cool. They have a really fun music note there, though we might have to consult some theory experts because I don't know if that is standard notation or maybe that that might be some kind of weird stuff coming out of Berkeley or something. I don't know.
We'll have to ask Adam Neely.
Yeah, because I'm not qualified to name that. So, but it looks like they have a little radio there, which is cute because
I'm not a fan of this design at all. I actually said that once already, but I was muted because I'm trying to block out the sounds that my girlfriend's making in the kitchen.
So yeah, it turns out nobody was a fan of this design. And this is a good transition to another one of our views here. Mark, I'm going to need you to turn your green screen on for this one.
All right, just All right.
We'll
There we
bear
go.
with you. Okay, so the first model N-Gage had one critical design flaw. It's supposed to be a phone, right? But look on the faceplate. Do you see a speaker hole or a microphone hole anywhere on the front?
I don't.
I don't either. These were placed on the side of the device, so now we're side talking.
Oh my! Are you kidding me?
This is how you
man.
used the original N-Gage.
Oh my
It
god.
looks like
No
Mark
way.
Approach
Yeah.
So,
Wait,
yeah,
what?
calling it.
Now we're
How
side
would
talking, baby.
How
God.
how does that kind of shit? I just don't understand. I don't understand how it gets to that point. I don't understand how things like that get to that point. There's like
Because
so many fucking lights that have to be greenlit, and so many people, and so many board meetings, and people who get paid so much money to fucking do this stuff.
It turns out both
Well,
the
that's
phone and the gaming were afterthoughts.
well. I think that's. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there, Tech. Is that just few too many people with no clear, direct vision. So, like for example, Apple had Johnny Ives for a long time, and he could put his foot down and say, "No, we're not going to have optical drives." And there wasn't anyone to be like, "Ah." So I talked to the guys upstairs. We really need to get the optical drives in there. So can you just figure out a way to work that into the design? You know, it's like someone was like, we have to have a radio option. There's a guy on the board, you know, he's got a lot of stake in the, you know, emerging internet radio business. So we got to get a radio button on there. You know, it's like, well, where's the sound going to come out? It's like, we'll figure all that out. You know, don't worry about it. We got it. We got it. Design by committee, they call
Let
it.
the engineers figure that one out.
Yeah.
God damn.
Fix it in post.
Yeah, the fix it in post thing. I think I don't know. I used to like okay, like the I always think of the Strokes second album Room on Fire when I think of fix it in post because
Great
they
album.
they were supposed to they were originally recorded with Nigel Godrich, who was the producer for Radiohead and a bunch of other albums, especially in the early 2000s. But they didn't like how fix it in post Nigel Godrich was about things, and they got spooked and were unable to continue recording with him because they were like, what if it doesn't work, kind of thing. And I used to make fun of them for that because it was just like, how are you not gonna fucking trust Nigel Godrich? He produces fucking
Sure.
Radiohead. But I kind of get it. I don't know. I kind of understand, like.
I don't get that. No, I'm just
Well, Nigel Godrich aside, if I was working
Yeah.
with fucking some producer that I wasn't familiar with or something, then it would be like, I don't know.
Nigel, I made Kid A Godrich. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, bro,
Right.
you
with
got
Nigel
it.
Godrich, yeah. But you see what I'm saying? Like, if it was like some producer
Yeah.
who didn't
But
know.
to be fair, you know, you can listen to Sea Change and maybe perhaps Nigel Godrich wasn't getting the best out of Beck. You know,
Why would you say something like that? You need to clarify. What
Okay,
you're
okay.
trying to say here.
okay, because Sea Change is probably like the best album by Beck, just because it sounds so sick. But as I've stated in the past, it's not the best Beck album, though, because it is kind of washed in a way, you know, and not in like a raw exposing Beck's insides kind of way, but in a this kind of sounds like a Radiohead album kind of way. You know what I mean? So
Sounds
maybe
like
the Strokes were
Serge Gainsbourg, History D Melody Nelson. That album is like almost like production-wise like a carbon copy of that record.
Huh.
You're not buying what I'm saying? You're not picking up what I'm putting down?
I don't know. I think like
So, like,
I think that
Strokes were-
to say that it's not the best Beck album, there are two things about that. One, I know what you're saying because like Odelay is, because it's like what Beck sounds like, right? But I think two isn't it a little unfair to be like, this is what Beck sounds like?
Oh, no. And I don't mean like, oh, it's like acoustic driven or whatever, because that was Beck's origins, like Stereophonic Soul Manure and One Foot in the Grave, like that's where he came from. But the final sound of Sea Change, it sounds more like Nigel Godrich than it does like Beck, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And so I can see the Strokes being like, no, we're the Strokes. We are the ones who make the sound, not you, Nige. Yeah. And that's why Room on Fire is kind of mid-fi, and weird. So.
Well, here's a question then. Did Nigel Godrich produce Morning Phase by Beck? I don't know. I need to look it up. Do we have a browser mode?
Hop in a browser view?
Yeah, let's hop in a browser
Check it
mode.
out. All right.
Let's look up, did Nigel Godrich produce Morning Phase by Beck? And to be clear, this is Album of the Year Grammy-winning Morning Phase. Which, okay, let's see.
Oh, God, that fucking album.
Who produced this album?
Kind of New World, though.
I can't see because there's a menu in front of... Like, there's an OBS menu in front of something.
It's the,
OBS.
Okay.
Now you can see.
Yeah. Who produced it? Come on.
Beck.
Oh. Well, okay, yeah. Then 100%. Morning Phase is
Wow.
Is fucking dog trash. It is a jar of mayonnaise just sitting.
You got Bob Ludwig on mastering.
Good for him. That album sucks. It's very, very bad. And it's the spiritual successor to Sea Change. But it takes the same
in cover art only.
Yeah, but the songs aren't good. The songs are. It's like an acoustic-driven psychedelic thing, like Sea Change was, but it's bad. The songs suck.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to like Sea Change is incredible, and I think it is incredible because Nigel Godrich is so involved in it, and clearly that's the way you want to go with this, man. Put your hands on the wheel, my friends. But a little guidance like that can be helpful for an artist that might not be the best producer. Like Muse, for example, definitely is a band that benefits from having a producer behind the boards.
They should not produce themselves. I agree.
What do you think, Mark?
What do I think about the Beck's work on the Scott Pilgrim OST? You mean? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about Scott Pilgrim.
I was just kind of vibing being outside in public, and I zoned out when you guys were talking about Beck.
No, it's totally fine. I don't think anybody in the chat has ever heard Sea Change, and they may not even know who Beck is.
Beck and I are basically just talking to each other. It's like you're playing Oblivion. You're playing Oblivion. You've walked into the inn, and there's the Argonian and the Breton, and they're talking to each other, and it's just like, any news from the other provinces? Nothing I care to. Be seeing you. Goodbye.
Be seeing you.
That's what's happening.
Well, anyway, the Beck portion of the show is over, I guess.
let's circle back to the Elder Scrolls. So this can
circle back.
This can relate.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
There's a exclusive N-Gage Elder Scrolls game, and you might have seen it during the pre-roll. But it's
really
its own exclusive adventure, and it's not been released on any other platform yet. And it is canon in the Elder Scrolls universe. So the only way to get a complete view of the Elder Scrolls world is to get an N-Gage. So
well, and to be fair, if you want to play every canonical Elder Scrolls release, unlike Final Fantasy, you will be slogging through some pretty bad games. Elder Scrolls is a series that has several incredible, groundbreaking titles, and then some real stinkers too.
So the aspect ratio is not going to be correct on this one. So
I do want to play this though; it looks sick.
Kevin, have you ever I assume you own an N-Gage.
I did buy an N-Gage recently.
Okay. Have you ever played the Elder Scrolls game on the N-Gage?
I haven't. This is actually the first I've seen footage of it. It
This
looks
is
like
how
it
I
kind of
walk
rules, to
around
be honest.
dungeons.
Does it?
Yeah.
Whenever I see stuff like, if I see something like this, all I can think about is how uncomfortable I would be playing it.
Dude, the D-pad was
that
not
looks
designed
really
for
cool.
games or comfort. It's just like this clicky, weird piece
I
of
have-
jelly.
I have trouble with handheld devices anyway. I don't really enjoy playing them very much, and because they're small and my hands are like gigantors. And Kevin, it's weird that to me that you don't experience that, but I guess you like video games a lot more than I do.
I honestly,
Kevin.
I don't really play portables that much anymore. I used to when I commuted to work, or like, I don't know. I guess if I'm flying somewhere, I'll bring my Switch or my Vita. Just 'cause it's,
Yeah, I'll bring my Switch if I'm flying somewhere for sure.
yeah, but like,
The
That's
paradigm
the
is
screen's
shifted.
big.
What is handheld? What is
Right.
handheld? What is not? You know, it's like
The,
what
the screen
what
was
is?
big. The reason I liked the Nintendo DS Lite was because the two screens together, it was big.
mhm.
I don't like when it's a tiny screen. I don't like when it's a tiny screen.
Yeah, I mean, at the time too,
so-
this was about half the size of the Game Boy Advance screen. It's like everything about the N-Gage is kind of questionable, kind of sus. Speaking of, sorry, James, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say the graphics in this game really remind me of one of Bungie's very first games called Pathways into Darkness, which was a Apple Macintosh exclusive
huh?
from way back in the day. It's one of Bungie's first person. I guess it was a shooter, but it's all like Egypt themed. Yeah,
Okay.
really sick. I used to play it, and it used to give me the spooks, just like how the Strokes got a little scared. I felt a little scared playing this game as a child.
Just a needless.
There's something
segment.
there's something unsettling about yeah. I mean, and it was
Speaking-
only on the Mac. This is how Halo started, right there. We're looking at it.
Speaking of unsettling, are you guys familiar with how you change games on the original N-Gage?
I would love to learn about it.
Please.
Yeah, look at those guys. They're creepy.
That,
Oh, look at their little
man.
tongues. Ooh, gives you the willies.
The willies.
Okay, so let's check it out here. After this ad from our sponsors.
Portable
Here we
gear.
go.
Portable gear. Okay. So.
Alright, so you power it down. You take out the battery.
You've got to be kidding
You've
me.
got to
Are
be
you-
fucking kidding
And
me.
then you slot the game back in.
Oh my god.
Then you put the back case on.
Holy shit.
Man.
It's so bad.
Pretty insane, right? Well,
Holy
Nokia took
shit.
all of these things into consideration. All of the complaints, all of the gripes, and they came out with a revised model called the N-Gage QD. There it is, folks.
Beautiful.
The N-Gage QD. No more
What is
side
QD?
talking.
What does QD mean?
Cutie.
Quark disintegrator. I don't know.
Quality design.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, did they get rid of the radio button?
They got rid of the dedicated radio button.
What year did the N-Gage come out?
That's a good question. Let's
looks
check out our
like
browser view.
Late 90s, wasn't it? Like, I feel like this was early
How long
2000s.
I thought it was
I think it was
2000.
2003.
That's big
Or-
time Y2K design on it.
I want to say it was like
does look
2003, and
cool.
then the QD was 2005.
I do
But,
not think it looks. I disagree.
Let's see.
It's
Okay.
it's like a
2003
good
for
and
the
bad look.
N-Gage, and then the QD, I believe, was okay. Yeah, Nokia introduced the N-Gage QD in 2004 as a redesign of the
Wait,
original.
please click on the QD so it can tell us what the QD stands for.
Cutie. I told you.
It's not going to. It's not going to tell us anything.
It corrected the flaw of the original's cartridge slot placement with a more convenient one on the bottom of the device, as opposed to behind the battery. Also moved the earpiece to the face of the device rather than on the side. in the previous model.
I cannot. I just.
What did this retail for? It seems like it would be really expensive.
Yeah.
Time.
I feel like it was about $250.
That seems like a good deal.
That's not bad. I didn't pay $1,000 for a phone. Although, you know, I saw some guy on Twitter, who was bragging that his Android device was more expensive than an iPhone 12 Max, and all I could think was like, all right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He was like, stop saying that Android users are poor. Okay, my phone costs more than an iPhone 12 Max. I'm just like, all right.
All right.
Okay, here we are. You know, it's full circle, I guess. You know, people used to remember there was like a meme where if you saw someone with like AirPods, it was like, oh, they're such a rich asshole walking around with their Bluetooth, you know, AirPods. It's like, now we can't imagine a world without them, you know?
BT.
Yeah.
We used to make jokes when we'd see somebody in public with a Bluetooth. James and I would go BT to each other.
You got that BT?
You got that BT?
Here we are.
But yeah, you know, I still don't
is
own
actually, I think, the
AirPods,
first gaming handheld to come equipped with Bluetooth.
I still think
the original
Bluetooth
promo video.
I still don't trust Bluetooth.
Well, and the thing about like N-Gage, when I was a kid and like I would see stuff like this, all I could ever think was, well, there has to be like a monthly charge, and I'm a kid, so I can't. I'm never going to be involved in this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm just a kid.
I'm just a kid. I can't, you know, like X-band modem. My mom's not going to pay for that.
My
that's
whole life.
Why I never played Final Fantasy 11.
All I ever thought was, well, it's not made by Nintendo or Sega, so who cares? And then the PlayStation came out, and I thought that, and then the PlayStation took off, and then it changed to, well, it's not made by Nintendo or Sony, so who cares? And
that was true. That was true about traditional animation in the 90s, though. When it wasn't Disney, it was always whack, and there were like weird racist jokes in it and stuff. It's like, what the hell is this?
As a kid,
Rev it
other
up
than,
with MP3s.
outside of
God.
What's that? Fucking Land Before Time.
Stay
outside
on
of the Land
top
Before
of
Time.
new games.
But that was Steven Spielberg, so it was like it got a pass.
Okay,
you know,
it was a Don Bluth film, so yeah.
Download apps and extras.
But no,
Anastasia was one of them. The one about the snow dogs.
Challenge friends in Bluetooth multiplayer.
How would you save MP3s on this thing in 2005?
That's a good question. So they used an MMC card.
What the hell is that?
Which is a predecessor to the SD card.
Balto, yes, shiny crystal pistol, got it. Balto.
Yeah, it's Balto. Anastasia.
Anastasia, yeah.
None of that.
Fern Gully, the Last Rainforest.
Oh, I remember that one.
I remember that one. That one was terrifying to me as a child.
Hey, you know, as I went for a bike ride yesterday, and it was like 95 degrees, and then I almost passed out. And then I came home, and I had a massive headache, and I just dunked my head in water, and I was thinking about like Fern Gully and the 90s, and it was like, this is so cool. Like, what a long game for like global warming, where we got to hear about like the ozone and global warming and all this shit for like 2 decades. And then now it's like going down, and we get to like really experience it. It's like such a long, like,
did you see
hype
that,
build up?
There we go.
That city in
Oh yes, I did. Yes.
Yeah. There's
Somewhere
now
in the middle.
two cities on Earth that are too hot for humans to live in. Yeah.
There's a heat wave here. That's why I'm at the ocean. Actually, I can only be comfortable at sea level. It's been like, I just Googled it, and it's 105 Fahrenheit.
But don't you have air conditioning inside your home?
No.
You
No
don't?
one has that here. No one has, like, I mean, some people do, but it's like you go to a store, like big stores do, but a lot of apartment buildings, a lot of condos, a lot of houses don't have it here because it's so mild. Like, yeah, it never gets too hot, never gets too cold.
It's like crazy, man. I don't know. You think that, I don't know, you'd have like one window unit just in
Yeah.
case. But
That-
I mean, I
people-
guess
People don't have them, and then this happens like once every few years, and they sell out at Home Depot, and
Well,
everyone's like fucking
James
flipping
just-
them on Craigslist.
James just explained that there was 20 years of fucking people saying, "Hey."
We've been building up
But
to
I
this.
think-
Sounds like a
think-
Vancouver problem.
I think
It's a hype
James
train.
meant more like prevention of how we would live our lives, not stocking up on AC window units in time for 2021.
No, I just mean that like Al Gore, everyone was like promising that like no, the temperature is going to increase. You will not even believe what existing will be like, a couple degrees every now and then until all of a sudden it's super hot all the time, and it's like, all right, I'll believe it when I see it. Now it's like, haha, yeah, it doesn't snow anymore and it's 95 degrees. This isn't cool. This sucks. But there was really nothing we ever could have done. I mean, come on, folks. What are we gonna do?
I've always insisted it's better to just cut the weed off at the surface rather than fucking get your hands dirty and dig it up. It's just
too many. It's just there's just too many people. The human race is just gonna do what we do, and there's nothing wrong with that. We do what we do the same way the ants come in through the hole in my kitchen and try to get in my cereal box. Humans are gonna build factories and try to make billions. And then there's going to be like a gas shortage, and some guy's are going to go to the gas station with a big, tub and just fill it up with gasoline. Because Americans especially, they don't care about other people. Are you joking? Man, maybe I just lived in Philadelphia too long.
No, I mean, I think the big thing is that there's plenty that we could do for sure. The problem is that
Is that a real N-Gage, Kevin?
hold on, Mark. I'm on a call on my N-Gage.
You're not holding it right. You got to hold it from the side.
This is the N-Gage QD, my friend. The redesigned
Oh.
N-Gage.
Do you have a SIM card in there?
Yeah. Okay. So the saga of me getting this to work is so dumb. I did have to order a fucking AT&T 3G SIM card for it to even boot up, even though there's no service on it. And then
That's
I had
pretty
to
cool,
buy one of these micro memory cards. That's 512 megabytes. It won't even read these 2 gig ones. But yeah, the person that sent me the SIM card sent me a DVD that has a cracked version of every N-Gage game. So I just dumped them on the card. It's pretty cool. And yeah, the games actually go through on the bottom slot now. You don't have to pull them out of the battery port.
Oh.
It's the QT. It's the QD. They should have called it the QD, but again, someone was like, I think there's a thing. It's like QT. Yeah, it's like QD pie. Yeah, just call it the QD. That's it. Yeah, we'll go with that. Asshole's name is Rob.
Yeah, the buttons are like exactly as uncomfortable as you'd suspect. Like it feels like you're punching in buttons on like an old school mobile phone. It's just not.
Yeah, no,
Not
it
engineered
seems
or
absolutely
thought out.
miserable.
It's so bad.
Shiny Crystal Pistol asks, guys, how would you describe the virtual desktop experience to someone who's never seen it?
4 geniuses in a think tank-like environment, exploring 2,000 years of technological history and innovation.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, every episode at the very beginning, you do see 2,000 years pass before your very eyes when that hourglass turns into the data center. That's what I'm trying to express there. Is that technology driven by man's need to keep time has been ever changing for millennia.
We should look into doing some 1800s OS. It's like an interface for like a
I still want to do
mechanical
newspaper.
factory.
God, I gotta say,
Printed
so
OS.
I was playing Oblivion recently, as I do, and Oblivion is so, there's such level of care and craft that went into that game. The entire UI is like based as it's like as if it were written on scrolls that are like overlapping. Like you don't even really notice it at first until you're like really looking at it, and you realize every time you open your inventory, it's the sound of like scrolls, you know, like coming out, and all the text is like a calligraphy style. I don't know. It's just like back in the day, people used to care and put in a little extra effort, and then they got to Skyrim. We're like, yeah, we're just gonna put, you know, faded black boxes with white Arial font, and that's what Elder Scrolls will be moving forward.
The UI specifically. They just phoned it in after that. I feel the same way about the Pokemon UI. I'm like, every single game, there's no cohesion or meaning or purpose behind any graphic design specific choices in any of those games beyond like the Game Boy Advance era, I would say, where they at least had like a pixel resolution to like keep some cohesion to how it's designed. But now it's like
they're friendlyfying the font.
Right. Piece of virtual desktop experience trivia. Before we moved to the window during the pre-roll, when it's counting down where the chat is, when that was just a gray side of the screen where the chat was, that was actually taken from a screenshot of the original Pokemon, one of those windows where it had the 4 Pokeballs in the corner. And
that's good design.
Just stretched it out, made it transparent. I was like, all right, I guess that's fine.
You ever played Arena?
I have not.
What's up with your audio,
Kevin,
man?
Something's wrong with your audio, Kevin.
I'm at the beach and my audio sounds okay.
Is it pro speed?
It's like you're talking in front of a spinning fan.
Yeah, I do have the AC on in the background because it is unbearably hot. So
I think you might have to unplug and plug in your microphone again or something.
Let me turn off the AC and see if that does anything.
I don't think that's it.
It's a digital issue.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Sounds like little tiny farts rapidly firing constantly.
I have some exciting news.
How's
kind of like that.
A little better?
Yeah, maybe, or maybe I'm just used to it. I'm not sure.
Huh. I don't know what to tell you.
So look, very soon, for a period of time, the Neo Gaia crew, we are going to be playing Final Fantasy XI together. And we talked about this on the last stream, but it was all dependent upon whether or not I could get a wineskin running Final Fantasy XI working on the ARM architecture in the Apple Silicon M1 chips. Folks, I did it. And boy, oh boy, I gotta say, my entire life, my entire time playing Final Fantasy XI, anytime I wanted to play it, it was always such an ordeal because I had to restart my computer, boot into Windows, launch Final Fantasy XI, go through the whole thing, and then while I'm playing 11, I can't do anything productive. I can't get out of it. You know, I really had to commit, turn off my Mac, go into Windows mode. But it works using crossover, which is some pretty incredible, powerful software.
Yeah, no, we're good. Now, I'm messing with audio settings, so you might not be able to see the OBS window.
Gotcha.
Can I play Final Fantasy XI at the beach as well, or is it going to need more?
There it is, right there. This
Beautiful.
is a Macintosh desktop running the latest version of Big Sur, and there it is. Just play online like it's no big deal. And let me tell you, full resolution. It runs in the background. You can. I'm pretty sure it's only using one of the CPU cores. So like I can run other apps. I can pop into Safari. I can pop into Discord. I can do other things. I can even just use Final Fantasy XI as like an animated like desktop. Just having it back there, it's incredible. So
sick.
We're going to be able to make this happen. Tech, I'm going to get this working on your computer. But the reason I bring it up now is because now I want to see what other great vintage PC software I can get working on this M1, and not super interested in playing Arena, but definitely interested in playing Daggerfall, famous for its procedurally generated, but all from the same seed, so every copy of the game is exactly the same, gigantic game worlds. Heck, I don't know if you're aware of Dragonfall. It was
Dragonfall?
it was the second Elder Scrolls game. And I, for many, many years, it had the...
Is it Dragonfall or Daggerfall?
Daggerfall. I'm so sorry. Daggerfall.
Just making sure.
It had the distinction of having the largest game worlds in any game. And they used procedurally generated technology, but it's like every game is exactly the same because it starts from the same seed. So it's not like Minecraft where it's different when who plays it. Right. So, but they really created like a country like the size of a country. And obviously there's a lot of, you can fast travel, but you could also just walk across endless tracts of empty land with random trees and ores.
Punch and kick rats into pieces.
Yeah, fuck those rats.
Everyone's power of fantasy.
Yeah,
Man,
like
oh, dude, your audio is still screwed up.
That sucks.
Sorry to derail the conversation. We can just pretend that it's fine. It's cool. Sorry. I don't know if you can hear the wind. It's getting really windy here now.
No,
can anyone hear the wind?
You sound
That's
great.
That's
so like Kevin, if you just like Google like Daggerfall map size. Let me see if I can find a good link here. Daggerfall realized the game world, quote, the size of Great Britain, or approximately 209,331 square kilometers, filled with 15,000 towns and a population of 750,000 people.
It makes me sick.
Seems like too many people.
The whole idea
too many towns.
The whole idea with Daggerfall was like a pen and paper role-playing game that you could play for years and years. And it even said right on the box, "Your new obsession." And there's like a picture
kicking
of
a bat. Just stop real quick and imagine kicking a bat.
No, I don't want to hurt any animals.
Well,
so yeah, I've always
about.
It's a giant bat. Though.
All life is sacred.
It's about kicking a bat.
It's you or him, man.
And this is why
I picked the bat.
I've played a little Morrowind in my day, but not a lot, and I just can't really get super into Morrowind. And I know that people swear up and down that it's the best Elder Scrolls game, it's the favorite Elder Scrolls game, but it's like I can be in a town and then like go to the top of a hill next to it and like see the next town, and it's like right there. Like the game world is so condensed and small compared to like the sheer epic ambition of scope of Daggerfall.
It is pretty
and
crazy.
Oblivion, they kind of, they got back to a bigger feeling world, but it's still like, it's nothing compared to this. And that's just what I'm into. I'm into massive, gigantic virtual worlds. That's why I play video games. That's why I love No Man's Sky. It's why I love MMORPGs, because they just continue to add land. Hi, Black Midi. It's great to see you. We got Chillwave in the chat.
Wasn't there a game?
Chillwave Kittens.
I thought there was a game. Oh, man, some game called. I want to say it was called Noctis, like the lead character from Final Fantasy 15. That had a procedurally generated. You talk about something else. I'll figure this out.
Is it for N-Gage?
Oblivion is still my favorite. It will always be my favorite. The game world they built in Oblivion, it was right on the heels of the release of The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and high fantasy was really popular, and everyone wanted to kill orcs in caves, and it was a great time to be alive.
It was called Noctis 4.
4.
Yeah, Noctis, like IV.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, this was like, I remember I was talking about this at Jimmy John's. It's like No Man's Sky before there was No Man's Sky.
Right.
Basically.
I tried to actually download or got this game at one point when I was still living in Philadelphia because I went through this weird phase. I was probably just really depressed, but I just wanted to I really wanted a game that allowed me to explore space, and I didn't really want to deal with combat. I
went through a phase like that too.
Yeah, I just wanted to. It's basically just like escaping reality, I think, but like at a psychological level. Yeah, but yeah, Noctis 4 uses a procedurally generated. Yeah, here, let's see. Noctis Galaxy contains over 78 billion stars.
Wow.
Most of which host many planets and moons orbiting them.
Oh, it really is like No Man's Sky.
But the thing is, it's on a fixed display resolution of 320 by 200.
How does that make you feel, Kevin?
It's like Daggerfall.
Yeah, it was very hard for me to. I couldn't figure out how to use the controls because I don't understand playing any video games on a computer at all, and I just don't understand it. So I never really figured out how to like get off of the spaceship you start on or move.
You gotta get in one of these spheres.
You get really far.
I figured out how to walk around just the
you didn't get to space then?
Yeah, this right here that's showing off right there.
Yeah.
I figured out how to walk around in there, and that was it.
In my depressed escapism phase, I played a lot of LSD Dream Emulator for PlayStation. And,
I've heard of that game.
Yeah, you just walk around and explore, and eventually you kind of just see everything that there is to see in the game. And they kind of like procedurally generate new textures over the environments. So it's like, okay, I'm in this room, but the walls look different now.
Gotcha.
And every now and then there's just like some really crazy texture or like something weird that they inject into it that wasn't there before. And I guess that's the fun of the game.
You know, Tech, you might actually like No Man's Sky.
No, I would absolutely love No Man's Sky.
Like combat is not the focus. Like exploration and like base building, like you could just build a base and just live on one planet.
It always looked cool as shit. Yeah.
That game still has creative mode, or that's what I played it. You just do whatever you want. You don't have to fight anybody. You can just build an endless resources. There's no challenge to that, but it's
Tech.
cool.
I don't know if I've ever told you this story. I think I must have, but I certainly haven't told the general public. This is one of the coolest things that has ever happened to me in any video game in my entire life. All right, it was right before a major update to No Man's Sky, where they were updating.
Yeah, dude. This.
Yeah, check this out. This is the craziest shit, right? So I was playing on permadeath, because I just love the stakes, man. You know, and I really wanted the achievement where you make it to the center of the galaxy in permadeath, and that's kind of
to be clear. Permadeath mode is if you die. It's a game over. You lose everything, and you simply have to just start.
It literally erases your save file.
Yeah,
there's just nothing.
Every game, by the way, should have a permadeath mode, in my opinion.
I agree. And so this was after several 20-hour attempts, and then just dying, and then it shows a little sci-fi quote, and then it takes you back to the title screen, and it's no save, and you're just hop right back on. It's very kind of Buddhist, you know, here we go. Anyway, it's the furthest I had ever gotten, and I found a portal on a planet. So portals are structures in No Man's Sky that you can come across. At that time, you had to sort of randomly find them, and they allow you to visit other people's other portals on planets that other people had discovered. So I went on the internet and I searched for portals close to the center of the galaxy because I wanted to make it there on permadeath. Now, you can't just go through a portal and then you're there and then you can get in your spaceship and then warp to another system, at least back at that time, because then people could do what I wanted to do, which is kind of jump to the center.
Right.
The only way it could happen is if you went through a portal and then found a base computer. Now you can build a base anywhere in the game, but back in those days, you had to find a base computer using a special piece of technology that you could build. So I went through the portal, I used the technology, And sure enough, it found a base computer on the planet in the system very close to the center of the galaxy. All I had to do was go on a 2-hour walking journey to that base computer on that planet, activate the base computer to build a base, and that would reset my location, bring my spaceship there, and allow me to then jump away from the system.
Okay, so you needed to go on a 2-hour walk at this point.
Right. Yeah. So I actually was able to even make a vehicle. I was able to find the resources to make a land vehicle, so that cut my travel time down, in half. And I was cruising for like an hour, and like something came up. I couldn't play anymore. Big mistake, because then they updated the whole game world, and the portal. So the base computer disappeared, and then the portal that I needed to go back to where I came from was suddenly buried underground below where you could actually dig to. And it was giving me the quest marker, like, return to the portal. And it was like I went all the way down, in Minecraft terms, to bedrock, basically. And it was below that area.
Jesus.
And so there was nothing there was no way for me to leave the system. Even building a base, having my spaceship there, it was glitched so that when I was in free space, it would not let me pull up the galaxy map and leave. I was completely stuck on my 80-hour permadeath file in this really, really strange, horrifying system. Okay, so every system in No Man's Sky has a space station, which is a central hub where there are NPCs and quests, and the space station in this system was abandoned and full of rafters hanging from the ceiling and sparks and a red light flashing and alien goo on everything. And just everything was abandoned. All the planets, all the structures on the planets were taken over by alien slime. There were 0 NPCs. At one point, I was just flying around above a planet, and I saw an NPC ship fly by. And I freaked out and just trailed it and followed it for a half hour. And then it ended up just I lost track of it, and it was just gone. And so I ended up settling on a moon that I called the Black Lodge, because I was trapped there, And it was just this weird moon with the sound of metal scraping with the music that they played there with strange floating orbs everywhere. And I just started, kind of building a base all right, I guess I live here now. I'm not going to give up the save file that I put so much into. I can't leave the system, but this is the end of my story. Here I am.
Could anybody have come? Could a player character have come to where you lived?
Only if they joined on my game. So No Man's Sky, it's not like an MMO. It's more like Diablo 2 or something, where it's players can join in on your game, and you can see other players structures and things, but you can't see other players unless they're in the world with you.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But it was a happy ending. About a year later, I think they had another
game time or real life time.
In real life, about a year later, they had another big universe-changing update, and I was able to leave, and I was finally able to I still remember the moment when I went into hyperspeed and left the system. Damn. And I made it to the center, and I got my platinum trophy.
Damn, dude.
And now you know the rest of the story.
And wait, James, was that? How did that save file end?
You put on the.
This is the story I know.
This is the story I know too.
This is
so
too
after
good.
all that.
So after all
of that, okay, and I don't want to spoil No Man's Sky, but the game did continue after I went through the portal, and so I'm somewhere else. I'm in another place, and they release the PlayStation VR patch for No Man's Sky, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Virtual reality and an infinite universe, this is the game I've been waiting
this thing off.
So I strap on my head-mounted display. I get out my PlayStation Move.
How many hours into the save file are you?
I mean, so we're I mean, at this point, it's probably 3 digits. You know, like
Yeah.
really long time playing this game, like over like a year and a half of play. It's my very first time in VR, and it's super cool. You can just jump right into VR. You don't have to make a separate save file or whatever. It's totally fine. And I get into my my ship, and it's like real cool because it uses PlayStation Move, so I can like see my hands, and you have to actually like grab and use the controls in the spaceship, which I think is cool. Unfortunately, I don't know how to fly in VR, so I attempt to take off. And I pull the stick back, expecting it to tilt my ship up so I can escape velocity and leave the planet. Well, instead, it pitches my ship down. The wing clips one of the like guardrails on this fucking trading post. And all of a sudden, the screen starts flashing red because my ship is taking damage because it's like clipped into something. And so I'm in VR, like looking around as everything is flashing red. I'm panicking. It's like, like emergency. I can't find like the pause button. You know, I can't like pull up the menu to force quit the game. Before I know it, I'm just like, screen goes black, Isaac Asimov quote, and it's just over. And I'm just like, it was like 3 minutes of VR play. Like I walked to my spaceship, got inside it, just dipped it straight down into a platform, exploded, and lost it all.
Man.
Being helpless in VR just adds that extra layer.
Yeah, I know, because you're like looking around. And it's like,
it's my like, what was I thinking? Like going into my precious permadeath save file.
Broken the thing, just throwing the VR controller off and broke it.
I gotta say, you know, usually when I lost permadeaths, it was like, yes. That time I did not feel that way.
yeah.
It raged. I was more Darth Maul, less Qui-Gon in that.
Well, it's kind of a, you know, it shows the fragility of real life. You know, nobody expects to randomly die when they do. So.
And every time
some
I
of those
died,
updates though. Sorry, some of those updates, like I was playing online with a friend, and I actually told this person your story of dying in VR and being helpless and panicking in the cockpit of a ship because you can get like freight ships or something in that. Like you can get like larger ships so you can customize the interior of and the freighters, yeah. And I invited him onto my ship, and it was like the day that they added that basically, and I was playing creative mode so I could just conjure up a ship. And we tried to go into warp speed to another system, and he just like melted through the wall, and like his file was corrupt. Like the inertia of traveling, like it didn't apply to his character, so he just like was destroyed.
Oh man, that's scary.
Then I told him your story after that. So
yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say, but like Tech, what you were saying, that's the whole appeal of playing permadeath. Because every single time that I've died in permadeath, you know, it's like I remember once I was so cocky because I was just like, I'm the master of No Man's Sky. Like nothing can beat. And I was just running around some like extreme frost planet and just like killing sentinels. And it's like GTA.
Oh, did we lose James? James?
Uh-oh.
Wow, this has got to be the first time we've ever lost James, right? Yeah,
you're back.
Yes, it's like a star system as you kill sentinels. It's like GTA, and you get to like 5 stars, and like ATSTs come basically. So I'm just like on the ground, just like fighting this ATST, and I pull out like my grenade launcher, like, dude, I'm gonna fuck this thing up. You think I care? And I shoot a grenade round, and it just like hits a tree that's directly in front of me. Just, boom, instantly dead, like from 100% health to 0. It's just game over.
Experience.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, I always thought
I'm gonna die in life. Yeah.
I always thought the most extreme difficulty you could do would be the game would come with a special CD drive that you install into your PC, and it would have a heating element in it. And if you lost in the game, it would straight up just melt the disc instantly. And you'd have to get
That's amazing.
not only a new, you'd have to get a new game and a new drive, because the drive would have like the disc.
It's such like a child's brain like concept. That's so good.
I think this is marketable.
I did start a save. I started playing Final Fantasy 14. I know some people in the chat play that game. And I did find myself wanting, like, I started thinking. So in Final Fantasy 14, it's there are like it's very easy. I mean, I don't. I'm sure things get more complex later or whatever, but like there's a whole lot of there are a whole lot of quality of life things that are like that just make the game a lot easier. I don't know. What are you laughing about?
I'm laughing at Rail's comment. The game comes with a poison injector that you attach to the controller.
You strap onto your arm.
Yeah, you're playing, it's fucking sticky.
But yeah, no. When developers put too many quality of life things into a game, it just takes away some of the reason that games are fun to begin with, I think. And so like Final Fantasy 14 being like an MMO, there's a lot of exploration that should be involved. And there is, but like it's just like you can see like everyone who has like a quest for you, it's just plainly visible as soon as you can look at your map like right from the get-go and see every single person in the area who has a quest for you, and then just go to them. And like I don't know, it seemed like it would be a lot more fun to and you could like I considered playing the game with no quest markers visible to me, and as little HUD as possible, including like no like on-screen map or whatever, so that I could just.
I love to turn all the HUD elements off and just have it be like clean, and then when you need them, you can bring them back up.
Yeah, exactly. I did a playthrough of Final Fantasy 15 like that, and it was really, really cool. In that playthrough, I also did not use the car, and I walked everywhere rather than run.
What?
I
So
walked.
sick. That's like
awesome.
the sickest thing you've ever done.
Dude,
like,
that's my.
That's your greatest accomplishment, dude.
forget classroom sex tape. You playing 15 without using the car, I think, trumps it all.
The only thing that sucked was that when you walk, and I mean like walk, like not run, but walk, you just get attacked by the fucking dudes who drop down so often. That eventually I started kind of role playing it so that if they would drop down, I would kind of run to get away from them, and then continue walking. But yeah, that was really fun. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. 14 it would suck. It would be hard because you'd have to talk to everyone to try and figure out who has a quest for you and where you need to go to like put this quest, in motion or whatever.
There is one quest in Final Fantasy 14 that's like a Final Fantasy 11 quest where it intentionally does not tell you where to go, and you have to like take the clues from what the NPC says to figure out like which zone to go to and which part of the zone. I never finished it.
That's sick.
That's really cool, but there's only one quest.
It just seems really cool because you would live in the world basically.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to, and everything would just be like you're just exploring, and most of it is just you just trying to like be alive. Mm-hmm. Like it's not even so much about like of course you're gonna talk to everybody. You're gonna end up completing quests as you go, and you're gonna end up acquiring money and buying new equipment, et cetera, et cetera. It's just gonna take a long ass time, but it's gonna have a whole lot of like you're gonna
immersion.
Yeah, immersion. Yeah. So
I do no fast travel plays of Oblivion every now and then when I'm feeling like it, until I just can't take it anymore.
Yeah, I was not using fast travel in 14 at all, and then at a certain point, like around like level 10 or something, I was like, okay, I don't.
Well, the problem in Oblivion is like you're halfway through like a cave, and it's like you can't carry anymore, and so you want to leave the cave, go to town, sell the shit, go back to the cave, and that's the only way you're gonna make enough money to like do anything. And so, but I try to stick to it. Like I'm gonna walk there. The one cool thing about playing a game like that, though, is you really do discover all these little hamlets that are their own little quest hubs, and they really design the game so that you can kind of, live in those little spaces. Like, there's an inn there, you can go to sleep at night, and then there are like 2 or 3 quests in the area, and you can just be like, yeah, I'm chilling here. When I play Oblivion, I do pretend like I am living in Tamriel. That is why I play Oblivion.
Nathan just said, was one of you guys talking about turning real life into an RPG where you keep track of your experience and put it into a spreadsheet and give yourself XP for washing the dishes?
Didn't you do that, Tech, or something?
Did I do that? I don't
That sounds like something you do.
It does sound like a great idea.
When I first played Mario 64, it's you have these really vivid childhood memories. I remember being in like the 5th or 6th grade or whatever, and like having experienced Mario 64. So like experienced sort of like open 3D gaming for the first time in my life. I'd played Doom and shit, but it's not the same as 64 where you're like, wow, I can explore this land. And my neighbor was out of town, and my parents were like taking care of their cat. My mom was like, "Oh, James, can you run over and like feed the cats at the neighbor's house?" I'm like, "Sure." And I remember like shutting the door and then imagining myself as like Mario in Mario 64, and then just imagining my neighborhood as like a cool 3D level. It's like, man, what if there was just like a game, where like all I had to do is like feed my neighbor's cat, then like go home. Like, that's all I want. Why isn't there a game like that? And that's why when Shenmue came out, I was like, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for my whole fucking life. And as
think
games
about stuff like that, like
as games continued, now you can play them like that, but it really has to be a conscious choice. I don't think gamers are into not fast traveling.
You can also take, like 100 hits of LSD, and then your life does become a challenging game. I'm not speaking from experience here, but I know some other people that have.
Or cut off a finger.
Yeah, James and I were just talking
Hard
about
mode.
this. Yeah, we were just talking about, life is too easy. I think I'm going to cut off one of my fingers. Make things more
This is
difficult.
what Tech and I talk about.
I
When
don't
no
like that.
I think gamifying your life, as Black Midi called it, said this is actually insane, but just today I did that in an application called Notion, was a user-made
like
gamify your life.
Like Apple Watch,
I was just going to say, that's why I love
kind of do that.
filling my rings, man. It's green screening it out, but my exercise ring is all the way filled, And I'm probably going to go on a walk later to make sure that I fill. It's great when wearable technology, forces you to go outside and take a walk. That's not bad.
Love it.
And it's dangerous out there. It is like a video game walking around North Philly.
Equip some weapons.
Middle of the night.
Right.
Oh, wow. This is Final Fantasy 1.0. Wow. Oh, 14.
That's
11.
Suggest Final Fantasy 14 nerds check out this video, because they go through the history of 14 from PS3 to the current version. And what's funny is they did tests on the new, like the native PS5 app, and with the PS4 version running in backwards compatibility mode, and the PS4 version runs way better than the PS5 version, and there's very little, if any, like differences at all. So the PS5 code just like isn't very well optimized.
Yeah, I played PS4 14 on the PS5, and it's great. Solid 60 FPS, instant loading. That's the sickest shit about the PS5.
The native
stuff.
PS5 app, it's the same resolution, but it can't hit 60. It drops frames. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, they haven't optimized it yet. Yeah, it looks great, and it's cool seeing stuff from the original 1.0, because I think you showed some stuff when we did the Final Fantasy 14 stream, but
that was the first Claris cam, I believe, where she was playing the old 14. Yeah, it looked weird, but it was a game engine that was just like, it couldn't run on anything. I can't believe they thought it would work. on like a PS3 when they couldn't even get it to work on like a high-end PC. There was a great interview I read with like the producers that took over. They were like, for example, there was a wine bottle on a table in an inn, and it used like 6,000 poly edges or whatever. You know, like it looked really great, but they could have gotten away with only using 8. Just weren't thinking about it.
Not optimized. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Kevin's audio, but there's a couple people saying that
I turned it up a little bit.
Okay. I didn't notice anything quiet about it, but
It's
okay.
not
Well, they
buzzing
hear
anymore, which is good,
different
so.
from us.
It's a different mix. Since
Oh.
my mic is going direct into OBS, and then I've got
Gotcha.
you guys' Skype audio going in too.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool. They talk about like them like basically scaling back some of the dungeons to fit the PS3 version, and how they were able to once they canceled service on the PS3 version, like make the dungeons a little bit more elaborate with more enemies, so that they could get past the frame rate limitations and geometry limitations of the system.
Yeah, that was a big thing in Final Fantasy XI. Was that every time like the fan base demanded something of Square Enix, they would always just be like, we have PlayStation 2 limitations. We have to operate within the PlayStation 2. Sorry about you.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that it launched on PS2. I think that's probably the first MMO that I can think of that like launched on console first.
There was also EverQuest Online Adventures, which I've always wanted to play, and just like the idea that there's this entire version of Norath, like this prequel Norath that exists, that I've literally never ever see. Like there aren't any private servers, you can't access the data, it's just gone. Like Asheron's Call to don't want to think about the digital decay. And that's why we're all going to play Final Fantasy XI, so you can go to your grave saying, I beat all the Final Fantasies.
So, if we're playing Final Fantasy XI online, who's like hosting? Like, are there like fan-made servers now that are like we're able to play through this
no,
version?
we're playing. It's a retail.
It still exists. It's still real,
and we don't need to pay it. We don't need to pay anything.
I think there is a monthly.
It's like
there's a monthly fee.
$14 a month. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
We can pay it out of
just
the
cancel
Gaia fund.
It's okay. I'm not worried about the cost. I was just confused if it was like still available publicly through retail, or if it had been shut. The service had been shut down.
So what we need to do is we'll make our donation goal all of our subscription fees, which isn't much. But that's like $60
Just
a month.
unsubscribe from the Equip and DDS Bandcamp subscriptions, and then boom, you got it right there.
I'll cancel my Disney Plus. Okay,
There
sure.
you go.
Well,
You
you
can
should
use
do that.
my
I have that.
login, which is
Fuck
actually my
Disney.
friend's login. So I'll give you her login, and then you can
To
use
Disney Plus.
Yes. Then you can watch
You know,
Mandalorian reruns.
I would love to show off some merch real quick. If there's a way to make me big, I would love to show off just a few things.
Well,
Just real quick.
should we take a little trip to?
Oh yeah. Just do that. That's perfect.
Okay,
And then,
and
I
then-
get two
All
birds
right.
stoned at once.
So yeah, it's that time, everyone. We're taking a little trip to Jamestown.
And the N-Gage girls, they all line up. They want to see me perform my magic trick. The N-Gage girls are all lined up. They want to see me perform my magic trick. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Jamestown. I have a wonderful, it's featuring the illusions of Master Illusionists, James Webster. So, gonna have some mask here. Back, so don't need that. So let's see what we're going to be dealing with today. So today I present the cups. Each one of these cups represents the 3 eras of vaporwave. So here we have first wave vaporwave, so like Skeleton and like St. Pepsi and Luxury Elite and Macintosh Plus and Internet Club, all that stuff. Here is second wave vaporwave, which I guess is kind of like DDS, Equip, all that kind of stuff. That's where we come in. And then this is the third wave vaporwave, which is happening now as vaporwave goes mainstream and is featured at major music festivals along with the Black Angels and the Hives and shit. So we need some balls. So I have here a magic ball, and this represents dissent within the vaporwave community. This ball, which is red for the fiery flames of passion. When things change and change is resisted, you get red balls. And so what we're going to attempt to do is to move all this animosity from the sort of current wave of vaporwave down through the annals of history, so it can finally rest easily upon this plank of forgiveness, which is before you here. So the first thing I have to do, obviously, is set out my cups. So we're going to do that right here, like so. So, okay, let me position this correctly there. Oh, look, you can see my reflection. Cute. Oh, it's like a Beastie Boys video. So let me take the animosity. So this is someone tweeting online. They're mad with vaporwave at a music festival. Are you kidding me? George Clanton, they're ruining everything. Okay. Let's just... Now, Twitter may pile on them many generations. May pile on. But the goal is to get that animosity, which you can see, again, it's on top of this cup here, down to the plank of forgiveness. So
right, buried in the vapor, very within the vaporwave community, deep seated in there.
Yeah, exactly. So how do we get this out? Well, it's gonna take this wand, which this wand represents kindness, forgiveness, empathy, and self-owns. And so I'm going to use this. Here we go. Think I can do it? And we're going to tap the top 3 times. 1, 2, 3 for the 3 waves of vaporwave bands.
What?
There it is.
What?
All is forgiven, folks. All right. So if you could just flash the title again. Thank you. It's been fabulous for me. Well, you know, I thought that you would be able to see the cups leave. I had a very short time to prepare for this. But no worries. I have some things that I'd love to show off. So first off, I just got a package from 100% Electronica, and really excited about it. First off, those who order things from 100% Electronica know that you get a 100% Electronica trading card, and I got, I think, the best one that you can get.
Oh my god.
That's awesome. Our boy, Adam Kane. Look at that.
Wow.
You put it on the back there. There he is.
Amazing.
Fantastic. So I already felt like a winner.
Sure.
But then I dug in a little bit deeper. Those commenting on my wall, I do live in a bunker. So this is an actual bunker where a political refugee on the run did have some troubling times. That's where I am.
You know what's an interesting bit of trivia is they based the background of the Led Zeppelin album Zoso on James's wall.
That's true. The picture of the guy with the sticks. They hold it there. That's so first off, I got my DDS logo shirt, this is still available, and I recommend everyone go.
How is it still available? How?
A few of them.
I think are smalls and mediums still available? Because I think it's only large and larger.
Well, we're going to make more, folks. We're going to make more of those I'll Try Living Like This shirts. We'll have new colors. It's going to be real exciting. Now I just need to find a sharp blade here. I guess I'll use this toenail clipper that was left behind by the political refugee. Use their thing just to very gently open what is the new beautiful variant of I'll Try Living Like This. And I think we do still have, there are a few copies of this available. I think maybe about 20 or so. So if you already own 5 copies of I'll Try Living Like This, well, that's one. You need one more, and it's this one. So I'm opening this for the first time. I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it? You haven't seen the new variant?
I have not seen the new variant, so this is a reveal for everyone to see, and I'm really excited. Sorry to turn this.
There are 10 in stock right now.
There might be more on Bandcamp too.
That's true. There could be more on Bandcamp.
So we have this beautiful book, and folks, I got to tell you, it smells like a yearbook. If you remember 8th grade when you were sitting on the bus and you held the yearbook up to your nose and you went, oh, that's what it smells like. So that's.
I didn't do that.
We got this great stuff going on inside, so you can pretend that you're Fani from EXID, or you're Jamin, who was a bad person. Turns out she was really abusive to Mina.
Wow.
Cover, yeah. So it's kind of no more. So
Black Midi said, I accidentally ordered a small and was trying to trade it in the mixtape club, but then saw a text photo where he said he had a small and was like, there's just no way. I tried it on and it fit. And so there you go. Sometimes
they run a little big. I have the small Virtual Utopia Experience shirt, which is a little snug for me because I got some quar weight I got to drop before we start playing shows again. The medium is real comfy, but it's a little baggy. So this is the day splatter, which is, wow, in person, I got to say, folks, this is incredible. Lots of light coming through it. Here, if I, maybe I can...
It's beautiful.
I don't know.
Looks great.
The light on my cell phone here, so you can see how well light is penetrating. Pretty cool stuff. And the other disc is in this night variant. So the idea is night and it's day. Side A, it's daytime. You're still happy. Side B, you've listened to one half of this album, so you're not happy anymore. And now you're in the night of your discontent. So that's all I really got to show off. Just wanted to show off this great new variant. It is absolutely stunning in person.
Also, if you haven't seen the Cursebreaker X CD, it is cool as heck.
God, yeah,
I gotta order one
as well. It's not here yet.
Oh, well.
But yeah, it looks like an old PlayStation disc. It's
fucking amazing. You know.
You designed that, Kevin?
I did, yeah. Thank you.
Oh, Gidoogie. Kevin, are you there?
Can you hear us?
Uh-huh.
I can't hear you, bud.
He's not saying anything. He's
muted.
I had it muted.
Gotcha.
I think that was the source of my crackling audio, is Skype and OBS competing for my microphone. So,
okay. Yeah, I mean it's still crackling, but
release the crackling.
What can you do?
Well, thanks for that segue. I appreciate the time that you gave me to do a magic trick and show off that great PBS merch. So I'm gonna stop talking for at least the next 10 minutes.
Do want to plug the fact that there's the levitation. Yeah, there you go. Look at us. We are synced. You know who's going to be playing that? Kevin, Equip, Death Dynamic Shroud, George Clanton, Negative Gemini, Magdalena Bay, Caroline Loveglove. So basically, a bunch of great artists, as well as Thundercat, The Hives, Black Midi in the chat right now. Just kidding. Different Black Midi.
Black Angel.
The Black Angels. I'm not familiar with the Black Angels. I don't know who that is.
They are. I only know them because they're one of Beach Shell's favorite bands. And when I used to play in a band in New York City, I knew a girl who was all about them and showed it to me one night. And I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty sick."
Sweet. Eve's Tumor. Very good. Just you know, lots of great artists. Anyway, it's very exciting.
Hives. The Hives.
I know.
Love the Hives.
I think
all about the Hives, man.
I'm pretty stoked about playing it. Death Sending Shroud has never played like a big festival like this or whatever before. James and I did play the Midpoint Music Festival?
Oh yeah,
Cincinnati, which was like slated to be the next whatever fucking
South by
Southwest. South by Southwest, yeah. We were a Budweiser Select like highlighted band or something like that. I don't know.
We had our picture in the guide.
We did. And so that was kind of exciting for us, but it was like whatever.
So please buy a ticket. There's a chance I'll be able to afford a wall after this, which I so desperately need. It's getting grim out here in North Philly, folks.
Well, how are you gonna get the
Who's
wall?
gonna put it in there, huh?
Yeah. I could do it. I could do it.
It's alright. Huh. Yeah, maybe.
Well.
So it's also exciting because I've only been through the panhandle of Texas, so I'm excited to get a taste of weird, keeping it weird in Austin.
I've never been to Texas. Wait, hey, Kevin, is there a menu up in front in OBS? Oh, gotcha. No.
Unless, see, no matter what
Can
I
the
do,
chat hear
Can
Kevin?
chat hear
Can you
Kevin?
hear Kevin?
Chat.
Can anyone hear Kevin? Sorry, this is our first episode. Thank you for bearing with us.
yeah.
Sega
I don't know. See, if I turn it on in OBS, it crackles.
Well, just deal with the crackling. We're
almost done here.
Fine. That's no
Can you set two different mic sources so we hear it from one and they hear it from the other?
I have the mic source set up in OBS, but I don't know how to route it to you guys through Skype.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's fine. As long as they can hear you, it's all
sure
good.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I played Austin right before the pandemic started in January 2020. One of the last few shows I played, and it was just sick as hell. It was it's really lit. A bunch of people came out. Huge vaporwave scene there. Lots of people were really, really excited. Great
Sweet.
crowd energy. People showed up for it, and people drove out from other, cities in Texas for it too. And I was just super, super happy that night. The turnout was awesome. A lot of people supported me at the merch table, and the show was just freaking sweet, man.
Awesome, yeah.
Well, it's pretty cool that there's basically a vaporwave showcase happening in the middle of this prestigious Austin music festival. That, like Brian
Look how
Wilson
far
is
we've
playing
come.
shit.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Look how far we've come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
We're on that third cup. No red balls in sight.
Okay. Sounds good again. That's good.
I think there's more to be announced, I think, for Levitation. I don't think they're done, but yeah. No, everything's frozen for me. Can you guys hear me?
I'm moving OBS around.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I only have so much screen real estate, and if I move another window in front of OBS, then the boys cannot see it on my Skype window share. I'm explaining this for the chat.
Yeah.
So then, whenever I move a window in front of OBS, it's all gray to them. So, but yeah,
Say
we're
Lottie.
good. Oops.
Yeah, was that
Levi.
with Magic Sword, Kevin?
No, that was Body Crews. They're their own thing, and they flew me out there and they put me up and treated me
Sick.
really, really nice and They got me those Abe's blueberry vegan muffins. Mark knows all about those.
The miniature ones?
Yeah, they got me a whole pack of those.
They don't have those in Canada. I really love those. Man.
Dunkin' Donuts, they're starting to pull the plug on the fucking Beyond Sausage, and I don't know what to do because, like,
Oh, no.
I know because, like, so
Damn.
it's been a slow downward spiral with Dunkin' Donuts. The first thing that happened is I ordered a Beyond Sausage croissant. It came, bit into it, bacon. Whole thing is filled with bacon.
What?
I'm like, yo, what if I was like crazy hardcore not into eating meat? This would be a major problem. But of course nobody cares. So I was like, damn, huh. So then I ordered it. I was like, all right, I'm going to try again. So like a week later, I try again. It comes just nothing. It's just egg and cheese, just no sausage.
Oh my god!
What the hell?
And so at this point, I should have just given up. But I'm
Right, dude,
so
here's
hooked
what you do.
on these Beyond Sausage sandwiches. Croissants are so fucking good.
You
like,
can get the Beyond patties at the store.
Not
So
same.
you buy a frozen pack. You can get the breakfast patties at the store, but you buy a frozen pack. You bring it into Dunkin' Donuts, okay, and then you give them the patty, and you say, "Hey,
like,
can
yeah, I mean, you can combine. Yeah, it's just they're so
Did they say
spicy.
that they were? Did they say they were getting rid of them or something?
Well, so the third time I tried, the driver finally get a good driver. He calls. He's like, "Yeah, man, they don't have to be on stuff." And I was like, "All right, just give me regular sausage then. That's fine." So he brings it. I'm like, and I haven't had the regular sausage Dunkin' Donuts for like years since they introduced the Beyond Sausage in like 2019. I take a bite. It's just like, it's just flat, so greasy,
it
just
tastes like pain?"
Yeah, it just was not. It just was gross. Like seriously, grossed me out. So I looked online and it said that they're pulling the plug at a lot of their locations. Then I looked today. I tried again, you know, because I'm just like I'm the mouse that keeps grabbing the electric cheese, and I found most of the locations had removed Beyond Sausage from their menu. I found one that still had it. But when I tried to order, Grubhub couldn't reach them for some reason. My girlfriend tried it on her phone. I tried it on mine. Ended up just making spaghetti and meatballs. It's like, this is what we got. This is what we're eating. Big disappointment, though.
Yeah.
But like, it's like when they discontinued Twinkies for a while. Remember that shit? It was like, damn, I'm never going to have a Twinkie again.
Damn, that did not.
That's fine, but
That did not bother me at all. But I was disturbed when Taco Bell got rid of the chicken taquitos, because I did eat those. But then it turns out that a chicken quesadilla is exactly the same thing, except it's flat instead of a roll-up, and it has a creamy jalapeno sauce, which I don't like. But all you got to do is say, "Hey, no creamy jalapeno," and then 50% chance that they'll listen to you.
100% chance they won't if you're in Philadelphia.
Well, now they got the computers, and you do it on the computer, and then you don't even talk to a human. At least that's how the Taco Bells are here.
That's sick. I would almost prefer that, but someone's still got to make it.
Yeah.
And I don't trust them. I will say I had forgotten what fast food was like in a major metropolitan area, and it is fucking dog trash.
I literally just don't. I can't relate with you guys here. I don't eat fast food unless I'm like on a road trip and forced to. That's like the only time I'd ever even consider it.
But that's not disagreeing with what I'm saying. I'm saying that the fast food where in Philadelphia and the fast food in Miami is atrocious.
You're saying it's
Isn't
worse
it bad
in the city?
everywhere,
than-
though?
I'm
Okay.
saying that city fast food is total garbage compared to suburban fast food.
I guess I
Suburban
only ever
fast
eat
food,
the
you
good
can-
stuff
you can at
then
least-
if I'm on the
You
road.
can at least eat it,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's like I don't like once every other month I'll be like, let's get some fucking Taco Bell, you know?
Right.
Let's just get some Taco Bell.
Yeah,
but
eating fast
you
food on a
can't-
regular basis, not a good call.
yeah, when I was like
but-
18, living on my own for the first time, I lived
Yeah.
like that, and it's just like, I feel disgusting all the time.
I never noticed the disgusting feeling until I started making my own food on a regular basis. And then when I would like go to like McDonald's or something, I'd be like, God, why is it so fucking salty? Like,
Salt is everywhere, burning my tongue off. It's fucking insane.
And then you're done eating it, and then you're just like fucking so thirsty for hours afterwards.
There was that great I forget who it was. Some fast food brands, like they weren't allowed to say in a certain country that their bread was bread because there was so much sugar in it that according to the government it was technically cake.
God.
Jesus Christ.
Everything just has sugar in it, so you get addicted.
Conference C, I'm not sure how to say your name, sorry, in the chat. So the problem with suburban fast food is that the places close at 10 p.m. In the city, it's 24 hours. And I gotta be honest with you, my experience has been the exact opposite. In the suburbs, I've always found that grocery stores and fast food are 24 hours. Lots of fast food, not all, but many fast food places are at least till like 4 or 5 in the morning. McDonald's,
Wendy's, Waffle House, Tim Hortons, Steak and Shake.
But in the city, most fast food and definitely all grocery stores close. And when I say in the city, I mean specifically Philadelphia and Miami, because those are the only 2 cities that I've ever lived in. But yeah, you can always go to places like Wawa, 7-Eleven, things like that. But yeah, it was always. I mean, I remember when I lived in Dayton, Ohio. The best part about living in Dayton, Ohio, was that I could go grocery shopping at like 1 to 2 a.m. And all the aisles were stocked fully, and there's nobody there.
Good time to
awesome. You just go and get your stuff and get the hell out.
I used to get fucking blazed in the parking lot of Meijer when I was a teenager, and just like go in there, and you could still play the video games on the TV that was like way up there.
Dude, I got a bone to pick.
Get mad blazed and play.
I got a bone to pick with Meijer.
Oh, what's the bone to pick with Meijer?
So when the PS5 was like, well, it still is hard to get, but like I
want to get one.
In the launch window of the PS5, like in the first 2 weeks or whatever, I was following all these like Discord stock notifications for PS5, and somebody was like, had a tip off, and they were like, Meijer will be listing PS5s in half an hour. So like, get your ass on the site, start hitting that F5. So I got on there, hit F5, boom, PS5 was on there. Add to cart for local pickup. It was like you had to make a Meijers account first and like give them all your fucking information, credit cards and all that shit. And it was like, you'll be charged at pickup. And confirmed PS5, had my name on it. I called them and I was like, can I come get it now? And they were like, no, you have to come get it at the pickup time that it says on the website. So I was like, okay. And it was like another full day, basically. It was like, your order will be ready tomorrow at 10 a.m. or whatever. So at that point in time, my dad had broken his leg, so he let me borrow his car. He didn't need it, and I had the car. And the closest Meijer was like a 45-minute drive out to the suburbs, and I drove out there. I was there right at 10. It's like, hey, I'm here to pick up my order, and they were just like, yeah, sorry, we didn't get any PS5s. I was just like, I have a confirmation number and an order and everything. She was just like, yeah, a lot of people are going to be really mad. I'm so sorry. And I was just like,
oh my God.
All right, great. And like, yeah, it's like crazy traffic on the way back. And it was like, I just blown an entire half a day. I'm sure other people have had worse stories with
yeah, but that still fucking sucks.
With the PS5, but I was just like,
yeah, I tried to do the PS5 hunt thing for like 3 or 4 days, like Discords and Chrome extensions, looking for words to change, and finally I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna pay $800 every day. I don't care. Just give it to me. I still got a job. I don't care. I'll pay the $300 tax. Like, I'm an asshole. Give it to me.
Yeah.
And now I have one. And now I don't have a job. I couldn't do that now. It would be an unwise move. But when you are getting paid, regular salary
You're
paycheck,
on salary, right?
just buy shit. Yeah, it's like fine.
I remember that.
Yeah, I kind of miss that. But don't miss working. So.
Nope. Rainy Cakes, you're not missing anything. Chick-fil-A sucks, in my opinion.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A's. Yeah, what's the deal with people liking Chick-fil-A? Not to go off on a rant here, But I've never liked Chick-fil-A. I
Oh,
always
it's not
feel
very-
like
it's not
chicken
very
is
good.
it's so dense.
I've never
It's
been there.
Bite through it, it's like a frozen custard. I don't know.
I'll say this.
The
When I was
bread
working
is weird.
When I was working at Nature City, I had my I had like an MSN homepage that would come up whenever I like opened up my Microsoft Edge, and it's fucking misery. Anyway, the point is, I started noticing and like it was like an ongoing thing that I started seeing seeping into like life everywhere, and it was more than, you know how if you're like, I swear I look at the clock every single time it's 11:11. It was more than that. It was like noticing like literally an advertising campaign that was pervading in a weird way, and the two things that were getting advertised in weird ways were the police and like literally like officers of the law and Chick-fil-A, and they were coming in the form of these articles. It was like a publicity campaign of like articles of cops and of Chick-fil-A doing or being involved in good things somehow, and being like
God.
I don't know how to explain it. Like on the police end, I understood it. It was probably just some, trying to like better their image or whatever.
Yeah.
Which
Damage
you could
control.
say something. Yeah, you could say something similar about Chick-fil-A probably too, because of the whole being
they're
just
homophobic company, right?
Right.
Like the
right. But
yeah.
it was like their angle was different. It was more about like building like this reputation of being like somehow almost like a cult favorite in a way or something, and it really felt like I was watching like that happen, and it like at the same time I was also seeing a really big uptick online from people talking about like singing the praises of Chick-fil-A, and it was like, hold on, what's going on here? Like it was very weird. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sheeple, man. Sheeple to the slaughter. Everyone's talking about it. It was like, oh, Daddy Venmo, give me $100. Well,
Right, yeah.
now, and here I am. I said the name of the brands, and now we're all thinking about it.
God.
And it's like, dude, the game is over. Like, Apple Cash is here. Like, no one needs you anymore. Like, get out of here.
I do use
Don't need
Zelle.
your-
I like Zelle. I don't
Sounds
use
great. I pay my rent with Zelle.
I use
Zelle.
Venmo all the time.
See, Venmo takes days to transfer between
It sucks.
two people, but Zelle is instant.
Yeah. I
Like,
used to get paid for my old contractor job through Zelle, and it was instant.
it's sick. I don't understand why everybody just
Well,
needs
Zelle is like the bank's own Zelle. Like,
Yeah.
Zelle is like the bank's version of all
Yeah.
that shit.
And Venmo's
Seriously.
now has been purchased by PayPal, so they're like,
That's who PayPal went through. That's the war.
It's so disappointing when, and I mean, I don't mean any offense by this. It's just always disappointing, and I've done it too. Everyone's guilty of this. When we all participate in viral marketing campaigns, and like we know what's happening, like we know, it's like we shouldn't. When like someone releases some crazy ad, like whatever that shit where like Burger King was like women should stay in the kitchen,
Right.
and then like the next tweet was like where they could be learning STEM or whatever the fuck it
God.
was, and it was like, and everyone fell for it, just like retweeting, like I can't believe they said this. It's like, did
Well,
you
it was
read
either-
the second tweet? And it's like,
the
why are we
point-
talking about Burger King?
Right. The point was either that you were going to be offended by it and say something, in which case they get advertising, or you were going to be like, "Ha, that's clever," in which case the only way to win is to not say anything.
Right, because the winning for them is that now you're thinking about their brand, you're thinking about their logo, you're thinking about their name. It's
just
at the
like-
top of your mind. It's accessed your fucking brain.
Now we're
pulled up
talking
the fast
about
food,
it.
And then, now we're talking
pulled
about
in
it.
the file, opened it up, and now it's in your brain, and we're all thinking about Burger King now.
That picture of
God, I
like
hate myself.
vintage Colonel Sanders in the car, and there's a anime cat girl next to him. Did you see that one? It's like somebody
No,
posted
Kevin.
that.
No, all those, like, every time I see an ad, I block it. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, I also too just block brands.
I did it for a really long time, and I have almost 3,000 Twitter accounts blocked now because I started doing any
every and any ad. I also did that too.
It was ads at first, and then it became somebody would say something online that was just like something that kind of annoyed me, and then I was like blocked. And then I just started.
It's like you think Netflix and chill, like you think that was organic. You think that like came from like the hearts of humans on the internet. That it just happened to be that like Netflix as like an act just suddenly became pervasive in our popular culture. Like no, it was a strategic ad. It doesn't matter. We all participate in it.
Do I have you blocked? I don't know if I have you blocked.
Let's participate in a more fun activity like the
Neo Gaia
playlist.
Sorry, folks, didn't mean to get so worked up. I'm feeling better now. I'm a passionate guy, and so that might scare you. But there's nothing to be afraid of at the end of the day.
We'll just get a little bit closer. How about that?
That's beautiful. Conference, you can find out if I did block you. It's very possible that you could have mentioned Cage the elephant on a bad day, and I just fuck it.
Dude, Cage the elephant rules, man.
No, they don't. You like
no, they got one good song. They got one good song. I listened to that whole album. No other good songs on it.
Here's a bunch of good songs. Check that out. We got 50 good songs on here.
50 good songs. It's about to go down to 38 temporarily and then be back up to 50 by the end of this segment. So we'll first step, get rid of 12 songs. So here we go. Nope, that's the wrong button. And we'll just do that and that and that and that. And those are gone. 38 songs. Now we go. I was actually the first person, rare, but I get to go first this week. I listened to Television. I listened to their album, Marquee Moon. And I don't know, if you've never listened to Television, go listen to Television. Super fucking important band.
You know, that album is in my that's in my music library, has been for over a decade. It was there, ripped from your CD tech. Never listened to it.
Like 100% listen to it.
Check it out.
I will.
Fucking great. Yeah, it's like it's that 70s, like, what is it, like 75 maybe? I'm not sure what year it came out, but like
it's freaking rock, dude.
Yeah, it's like pre-punk, post-punk. I don't know.
It's where all those like 2004 Pitchfork jangly ass bands ripped their sound.
Yeah, but like in the absolute most like shit way. Yeah. Like it's totally missing what was. Anyway, don't get me started.
It's like if Pitchfork described your guitar tone as jangly, you were probably ripping off Orange Juice and Television. If they described your guitar tone as angular, then you were definitely ripping off XTC.
Angular, yep.
That was the worst adjective to describe a guitar tone.
All music criticism's pretty bad, if you ask me, but that's a subject for another day.
Next up is a song called "I'm in Heaven" by Andrew WK, which will be coming out on his next album. And there's 2 songs that have been released. I put both of them on a playlist.
Freaking rocks, man.
They are both so good. They fucking slam. They are heavier.
Hey, congratulations to Andrew WK for getting engaged to be married.
To Kat Dennings. Amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Happiness found him after all.
It's the heaviest work of Andrew WK's career, and it's also just really, really incredible. So strongly suggest you check that out. And Babylon, which is another. And while I babble on about music here, I listened to 5 Years recently, which inspired a Twitter joke that I made. But I don't know, sometimes the same thing happened with Television. I think I just got in the mood. It's like you just want to hear like that sort of thin production of 70s rock from that like mid 70s to like late 70s. I don't know. The drums are kind of like there's like a
crispy
quietness to them. It's like it's like weird. They don't like they're not super full, but they're not like thin and like a I don't know, like an indie video
there's
game.
Dynamics to it, you know.
It's analog warmth.
Yeah, it's the analog warmth. And anyway, so 5 years.
So many mothers sighing.
Yeah. Lots of if you've never heard 5 Years by David Bowie, then fucking just get out of the chat. Jesus Christ. No, I'm just kidding. Go listen to it. That's what I mean by that. Get out of the chat.
It's one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah. So anyway, those are my picks. Second up was Kevin. Kevin, first up, you got...
First up. First
up, you got a
Dancing Queen by ABBA.
All-time classic.
Put it on there 3 times. Just go for it.
What can be said?
I mean, what can't be said? It's a perfect song. It's a perfect song. Everybody likes it, whether you know so or not. So yeah, just shut up and listen to Dancing Queen.
Yeah, and don't be the kind of person who's like, I actually don't like that song.
It's like, yeah, all right.
Shut up.
Okay.
Shut up. Just
We're all
shut
very
up.
proud. Go back to speaking about shitty chicken sandwiches.
Second up,
Lost in Love.
Maybe the way you feel about Dancing Queen.
Lost in Love by Air Supply. Man, Air Supply, for the longest time I thought that they would be a boring band, because the name is so boring to me. It makes me want to fall asleep just saying it. But this song freaking slays. My friend Ryan described it as beige. It sounds very beige. And I have to agree.
I gotta listen to it. They have a song called "Making Love Out of Nothing at All" that was written by Jim Steinman, the guy who writes all Meatloaf.
Meatloaf dude, yeah.
And it sounds exactly like a Meatloaf song. I mean, just straight up. And it doesn't. It's like it's the Meatloaf. Sorry, I don't mean to take it. Just let me go on a little quick rant real quick. Meatloaf's or Jim Steinman's songs, he just makes up these phrases that feel like there's something about them that makes sense, but that doesn't make any sense at all. Nothing about what is making love out of nothing at all. What is that supposed to mean?
Isn't that how it's always made, though?
Making love.
Noel Gallagher is the same way. It's like cliches that never existed, but like don't really mean anything.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Is that a dig? Is that like no one loves you except for me?
No one will ever love you to the extent that I am capable of loving you.
Making love out of nothing at all is like it's like one of those songs where like every lyric begins the same way and then ends differently, and it's like all the things he knows. So he's just like, I know just how to whisper, and I know just how to cry. I know where to find the answers, and I know just how to lie. And then it keeps going, and it's like, I know all the rules, and I know how to break them, and I know the name of the game, but I don't know how to leave you, and I'll never let you fall, and I don't know how you do it, making love out of nothing at all. What the fuck does that mean?
Hats off to Jen Steinman.
It sounds like a toxic relationship, and they should both run for the hills. You know?
Hell yeah.
It's true. Anyway, that's my.
I think you would like this "Lost in Love" Tech.
I probably would.
It's good late '70s soft rock. Got some nice harmonies towards the end.
Gonna check it out.
Last one is by the legendary Luxury Elite.
Yeah, sorry. This computer is acting. Oh damn it! I almost had it, but never mind. It's whack.
You heard it here first, folks. The M1 iMac is whack.
Well, I was saying swack, so that because the title of the song is. I was just trying.
Swack. I get it. Yeah, Luxury Elite. You can. I mean, what? It's good shit. It's good vaporwave. You can play this at a party. You can play Luxury Elite at a party, and people won't be like, "What is this, bro?"
That's weird.
Yeah. So yeah. Sick. That's it
Sick.
for me.
That's what they say.
Mark is up third. Mark, you picked a Ryuichi Sakamoto song. I don't know how it's pronounced.
You know, I don't know either, and I don't know the show that it's from or the movie that it's from, which is an animation apparently that he scored called
Tyranno.
You guys know that one? Have you seen that animation?
No.
No one here's seen it?
No.
Well, one day maybe I'll watch it, but I've been digging through his entire oeuvre or whatever you want to call it, and he's just probably the coolest guy ever. I
agree.
know. Like, just what a guy. Yeah, and
Why is
compelling music he's always composing. Just
Why is it on there
seemingly.
twice?
That happened
Wait, what?
when you put on Dancing Queen too,
Oh, that's
and
just
then it went away when you put in Lost in Love.
Okay. Yeah, it shows up as 1 for me. So.
I can barely even see the screen right now. I'm just in the sun is setting and I'm getting some direct sunlight here.
Rainy Cakes. I'm wearing the exact same clothes as I wore yesterday.
Nice.
Hey, I am too, but I didn't stream, so nobody knows it. But that was after I was really sweaty and I took a shower like at night and then changed into this. But I did sleep in it and then just keep it on. So
I might wear it tomorrow.
Streets.
Never know. Streets of Rabanastre from the Zodiac Age of Final Fantasy XII. That was your second pick.
Oh yeah, you know, yes, I put that on there. I guess. Yeah, I find myself like, just for some reason, this song is like I find myself like grinding my teeth to this song. Like when I'm trying to fall asleep. I don't know why. There's like a triangle part in it or something, and it's just like I don't even really like it that much. But this song specifically, it's like one of like 10 songs that will just be stuck in my head for better, for worse, and like just on loop. And it's also some of my own songs in there, which I really hate having my own songs stuck in my head. But yeah, so and also the reason that
There's something
this is sort of
about
on there. Tangentially related to this is I've been playing 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, and I think maybe Sakamoto also did the soundtrack for that, but it's definitely a different vibe. Okay. It's definitely a different vibe, but
it's his studio Basicscape. So he kind of like started the songs, and then he's got like a whole house of composers that like go to town and like flesh them out and add their own vibes to them. So
Hans Zimmer style.
It's really a cool way to work because it's like the DNA is so Sakamoto. Like all the chord progressions are so Sakamoto, but like each of the different composers has their own unique little style.
I can
Love
just
that
imagine.
soundtrack, by the way.
I can imagine James and I being in that situation,
That'd be sick.
I just think it's funny. Like if I guarantee. If James and I started writing a song, they were like, "Okay, you guys finish it," and they showed us, then or we listened to it, be like, "Why'd you do that?"
Yeah, no.
Like guarantee.
I'm forcing minor fours all the time in like department stores and with my girlfriend, and I'm like, "See, they should have done this.
They should have done this.
Yeah, done better, you know." And then every now and then, like we were at Lowe's once, and it was like a Matchbox, I don't know, Matchbox 20 or whatever that dude's name is, solo album, or the Rob Thomas like solo album or something. And I was like singing what it should do, and then it fucking did it. Because dude, he goes there sometimes. He does.
Wow.
He does.
He knows.
Yeah. What is that? What is that Rob Thomas song that's really fucking? It's awful, but it's.
Dude.
I don't know.
No, I
know.
know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, because I Shazammed it one time.
Yeah, it's in my Shazam
like,
history.
I was like, whoa.
Coming from the other side of the spectrum, I have written music that has been recorded in a studio, and you hear a couple takes, and then you say like, just try a variation on it, and then they'll like just kind of riff on it a bit. And you're like, wow, that sounds incredible. and you kind of learn how to get that out of people without it turning into them needing
so
a
basically you abuse them for uncredited composing credit.
I have actually done that as well, but that's not in the studio. That's music editor, arranger, copyist territory where you're like,
hey, get it where you can, man.
No, it's not even. It's like most things that are produced on a high level involve many people at each stage, but hearing that like this, to me, it kind of bugs me when you have like 10 people with really good chops just at a computer writing music, and then for some reason just your name based on your career allows you to say like I'm Hans Zimmer or I'm Hitoshi Sakamoto, and this is just credited to me, even though I like oversaw it, you know, which is fine. I get that that's a place that, you know, and I'm participating in it myself, but it's like
video game soundtracks are especially bad for that, because it's just like there's always like, you know, Namco sound team or something, and it's like that's like 5 super talented people, but like
that's the worst.
The way that's
well,
how
you know,
it goes.
that's what happens when
you're owned. You submitted to Namco.
That's the company just exploiting. Yeah.
Well, it's what you get paid for. It's like if you're a scientist, the lab that you work for, they own your research. You can't take it somewhere else unless you're that anti-vax pandemic lady, because that's what she did. That's what she about her. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I found the song, Tech. That's going to be my first pick. If Mark's
okay. Well, then give me a second. Close Your Eyes by the Sadistics was the final pick from Mark.
Right. This is one of the tracks that I like off of the Pacific Breeze compilation of city pop. I don't know if you guessed that Light in the Attic did a compilation called Pacific Breeze, and it's a bunch of awesome city pop, and it was kind of like a gateway, I think, for a lot of people who are not familiar with it, myself included. So the reason I was listening to that again is because I was talking to Kevin. I don't know if you mentioned this in the episode already, but he's creating a future funk mixtape, I guess, for your current issue of Eclipse Pick. Sorry, I've just been at the beach zoning out, so sorry if you just talked about it.
No.
But like
polishing up mixes, couple more days.
Sick.
It's all Persona 4 stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, it sounds great from what I've heard, but like, or maybe I have just heard other stuff that you've been working on and not any of the future funk. But no, you did send me a couple of those. But
sent you a couple clips of me filming my computer screen.
Right, hi-fi, hi-fi. But I guess I just like city pop is a source for a lot of future funk, and like I was trying to introduce a friend of mine to future funk and city pop and try to explain it a little bit, and the production value like and quality of just like sound on like the Pacific Breeze compilation, because it may have been remastered, I don't know, versus like a lot of the future funk like bedroom producer stuff was like kind of just like totally derailed the conversation. There was like just like trying to listen to like just like auto just going directly on a playlist from actual city pop to sampled city pop was just like in a car with like a car stereo. It's like it's just like you could only hear the bass on like the future funk, and it was just
weird.
But Kevin's future funk will not be like that. I'm sure it'll be a high quality.
It actually will be like that. If I had like longer, like all these mixtapes, I'm sure, you know, the DDS boys can relate here, but it's like you want to do it, you want to get your concept out, then you want to finish it, conceptualize it and finish it in a month, and it's like it's not a lot of time to work on a project. And like all these projects, I always feel like, well, if you put like an insane amount of hours into it, then it's like you might as well just release it itself. Not saying that I'm like putting out half-baked stuff, but like you can always work on stuff more. And like I would love to like, you know, take out the bass entirely out of these songs and like write original bass lines on top that like sound really, really good, and like really, really like go all in on it. But like I only have a month to figure this out, so.
But that's part of the project. That's part of what people are signing up for. That's part of like, you know, I think James and I had a lot of experience already.
Learning to draw. Yeah, learning how to draw the line.
You gotta learn how to draw the line. Exactly.
Rebecca Peak helped us.
Yeah, Rebecca Peak taught James and I how to just let go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, no, I totally feel that. So there are things about the mixtapes that about my own where I'm like, I should have made this. I should have done this better. And had I had more time, I would have.
I've listened to a ton of future funk in research because I've never made it before, and I'd say that my my mixtape is like on par with like early future funk releases, like early Young Bay and Mac Ross and stuff like that. And like now when you listen to the newer
Future
ones,
Girlfriend, I love Future Girlfriend. Remember that?
Future Girlfriend's great.
That shit was hot.
Yeah, like it's crazy when you listen to like newer future funk now, because like they go really heavy on like totally redoing the bass lines and like just cutting the bass out of the original track and then like putting like a new really funky synth bass line on top of it. But that's like really labor intensive, you know?
It's
like basically making a new song.
Okay,
so
we gotta wrap it up.
Now, we're gonna wrap it up. We did start a little bit late. It's all good. But yeah, we all have chickens to pluck. Whit, you were exactly correct. It was really fun to dig through all of that video game music back in the day by all of these forgotten corporate slave composers that were just, in some cases, pumping out masterpieces that were just going to rot on some cartridge and be forgotten forever. And that's the appeal.
Rob Thomas.
So my first pick is Rob Thomas's Her Diamonds is the name of the song. And this is a great example of how an absolute shit song with terrible instrumentation, embarrassing vocal stylings, all of it, that it can still be exciting to listen to if you're into the Beatles and want to write chord progressions like that. If you have that inside of you, then even if everything is absolute shit and there's only like a 3% Beatlesqueness to the way that you write your chord progressions, I will get excited if I hear it in lows. And I was definitely in a public place when I heard this song, Shazammed it, just dug it up here. Her Diamonds. My second pick.
Her Diamonds. Sorry, I'm listening to it right now, so I'm like, dude, it's fucking Captain Bosek's Lament.
Yeah, exactly. Like I wrote this fucking chord progression.
Yeah, you wrote the song when you were like 12. Okay. What's your next song?
My second pick will be Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth. Nice. Smash Mouth, they became a meme, but they're also incredible. Astro Lounge is like solid cover to cover. The production on those songs is like so just meaty, and there's all kinds of weird keyboard stuff, and Walking on the Sun specifically is like this song, like the lyrics are ridiculous, but it doesn't really matter.
Song rules. It's really good.
and I'm also picking it topically, since we're all in a big heat wave right now. This is what it feels like. If I leave my house in Philadelphia, I might as well be walking on the sun. That's how I feel. And my final pick is, and I might have picked this before, I don't know, it's one of my favorite songs of all time, All by Myself by Eric Carmen. And the reason I'm picking it is I was listening to my classical music playlist earlier, and the Rachmaninoff second piano concerto that song rips off came on, and then I wanted to hear the Eric Carmen song, and I was actually singing lyrics about my cat who's sitting in the window, just thinking about being a male cat and being neutered, and how he would have similar feelings to Eric Carmen in All by Myself with his confusion.
It's like literally anytime, literally anytime I'm like, somebody's like, oh, who does that song? I'm like, oh, Eric Carmen. They're like, Eric Cartman.
I probably thought it was Eric Cartman, because I'm just like dumb like that with some shit sometimes. So like probably like the first time I ever talked about that song, I probably said by Eric Cartman or something. Anyway, those are my picks. They're all classic.
A fun note about that song is that like James was saying, it includes a portion, like for people who don't know this song, it includes a portion that is just straight up a Rachmaninoff piece. Like it's just in the middle of the song. And it's just really funny because he did it probably under the assumption that it was,
they thought it was public domain,
because it was a classical piece. But it was a late Romantic era piece, and it was only the 1970s. So like not 100 years or
Wasn't
whatever.
quite 100 years old yet.
Yeah, so the estate of the Rachmaninoff family was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, no. And then
Wow.
they like,
And
That
it's
rules.
so sick when you listen to the Rachmaninoff piece. It's just like you can almost sing all by myself along with it. Like at points, it's like, oh, that's it. Anyway, those are my picks. Might as well be Walking on the Sun. Doo-doo. Oh wait, before we go, real quick. 1 second.
I thought we were about to be signing Rachmaninoff.
So I just really quickly, before we go, I did want to just recite some of these lyrics real quick from Walking on the Sun. If you weren't aware of how ridiculous these lyrics truly are. It ain't no joke. I'd like to buy the world a toke and teach the world to sing in perfect harmony and teach the world to snuff the fires and the liars. Hey, I know it's just a song, but it's spice for the recipe. This is Love Attack. I know it went out, but it's back. It's just like any fad. It retracts before impact. And just like fashion, it's a passion for the with it and hip. If you got the goods, they'll come and buy it just to stay in the clique. So don't delay. Act now. Supplies are running out. Allow if you're still alive 6 to 8 years to arrive. And if you follow, there may be a tomorrow. But if the offer's shunned, you might as well be walking on the sun.